evening, freaks. I'm here to give the collective a read straight from the hip with lots of lip. And we are going to dive into our weekly wild card weather report just to see what the general energies in play are for the collective. This is a read for all signs, all right, all placements. You're all welcome here in this space. I will call out any signs that come through in the cards. We're looking at 12 different areas of life with the zodiac wheel spread. So this gives kind of a real comprehensive view of the energies in play, what kind of things we can expect to pop up over this next week and around here at Broad Coven. The week runs Tuesday to Tuesday, usually Tuesday night to Tuesday night. I'm not on normal person's time. And I always take a couple days to myself just to totally relax and recharge, come back into my own energy so I can give from a place of fullness. I look forward to dropping in with you all for these check-ins just to see what's in play because, hey, I want to know how to best work with the energies in play too. And that's what tarot is really about. It's all about using it as a tool to really master your path and the way forward. So do be mindful when you listen to this read that it is a read for the collective, which means that it's best to tap into the overarching energies that come through. Not every single message that comes through will necessarily be for you, but I find that the theme will have application, okay? So if you're tuning in here, there's something here for you. I don't censor myself in the read. I let whatever needs to come through, all right? I push myself aside. And so it's really up to you to engage your intuition and feel out how the messages are speaking to you. And sometimes there might be a very specific message that comes through and it's just not yours, and that's cool, but it's somebody's, all right? So let's enter into this creative space and just hold the space for whatever wants to come through. I got a lot buzzing in my ear right now, so I feel like we're going to be receiving a lot of spiritual guidance, a lot of higher consciousness guidance as we move through this next week. I'm just getting that very, very strongly. Like I feel like there's a lot of communication coming in from the ether, a lot of signposts showing up on the path to help you align with your next steps, what you need to do. I also feel like there's these openings that are occurring. They're really blessed openings, right? There are opportunities to move forward in our lives in really empowering ways where we'll really dig where we end up, okay, at the end of the day. But it does involve taking a certain level of risk, maybe doing things differently than you have before, and also being opened after a time when maybe you've been very closed, okay? So there's an opening up that's needing to occur at this time, like removing the blockages in particular from the heart, being able to be receptive. Be receptive to what wants to come in. If the heart is blocked, like nothing can come in because that's like your receiving channel, all right? So we're going to dive into this. I feel like we're making a choice after a long time of weighing up a lot of different options, a lot of different variables, trying to figure out our way forward and what we want to do. I think something is becoming crystal clear, and that has everything to do with there had been a pause in this situation, a pause where you really had to kind of like remove the distractions from your environment. You really had to get clear with yourself, take a new look at things, and feel out what the best way forward for you was. And I think you are arriving at the place where you are ready to come out of this and make your decision. And yes, I had turned this all upside down when I picked it up. So got it set right side up. And right behind this, we have the Paulina Tarot title card, which is my If Wishes Were Horses, the Dreamers Would Ride card. All right. So maybe, it looked like something wasn't going to come through. Maybe it looked like you just had pie in the sky kind of dreams and you thought they were based on pie crust promises made to be broken. But I see something breaks on through to the other side this week, little nod to Jim Morrison there, that gives you like hope with wings, like feeling like this thing can really take off. This thing can really get there. This could have been something that's like kind of like your baby, something you're creating, something you're building, something you're investing your energy in. It could be a creative project. It could be writing a book. It could be making an album. It could be making a body of work. Like I'm getting this coming in for the collective a lot lately, a body of work, something that has lasting value, something that long after you're gone from this earthly incarnation, it's there. It leaves something of your imprint behind. Some of you are really building a legacy, but it's based on the stuff of your heart. It's something that really inspires you, lights you up. Some of you are really pouring a lot of time and energy into your business pursuits. You're deciding to go your own way. You're bucking tradition. You're moving a little out of pocket. You're taking a risk, and you're going to build your dream. You want to have your own business. You want to be in charge of yourself. You don't want to have to be working under somebody anymore. You have your own creative ideas, direction you want to take things, and you're tired of being held back. I see you moving forward with that. Okay. But this is where you make a name for yourself. All right. So I think there's also like a lot coming in at this time about really paying attention to what is feeling in resonance with you. So you don't like sign on to something that isn't in alignment with who you really are and where you want to go. All right. So 6:42 on the clock. I'm going to get into the shuffling here. I will have timestamps available for all of you after this is aired. All right. I'll get those to you as soon as possible so you can jump ahead. I do often have channel messages come through when I'm doing the shuffling though. So 7 on the clock when I said that, I think that's Spirit's way of saying, yeah, we're going to be coming in here. We're going to be involved in this shuffling process. I know you already saw me shuffling, but I think there's going to be some messages that are going to drop. So if you choose to skip ahead, you might miss some of those channeled messages. All right, we're going to be shuffling for 12 different houses that are the houses of the wheel of the zodiac that each represent a different area of life. And this is going to really give us a comprehensive view of what's coming forward. And we are shuffling for the entire collective. So we are shuffling for what's in store this week. What is the weekly weather report for Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, Virgo, Libra, Scorpio, Ophiuchus, Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces. And yes, Ophiuchus is going to represent the overarching theme. I've been integrating. It's a new thing for 2023. Ophiuchus is coming in here, a Broad Coven. All right. So we're going to let that energy come on through, and they'll be represented as sort of the overarching theme card. All right. Basis of the matter, 7 of Pentacles here. Like, what are we going to invest in? Where do we want to see growth? Where have we invested our energy and not seen the growth that we wanted to see? And it's time to kind of cut those ties and move forward and invest in other things. This is kind of balancing things out, taking things into consideration. You might be in that space this week of that 7 of Cups, just kind of like holding off the energy of outside distraction and getting, in tune with what feels right to you. How do you want to move forward? I just saw 911 on the clock. Okay. So some of you might be feeling pressured. You might be feeling like kind of like you're down to the wire with making these choices. Maybe you're getting pressure too from outside parties, from other people. And this is really about kind of like, it doesn't have to be an emergency. Okay. You get to, move forward in whatever manner you want to. It's about harnessing the energy. It doesn't have to be chaotic. You can move forward in a very calm and empowered way where you know where you're going, you know what you're doing, and you're doing what's right for you and what's in harmony with who you are. And it doesn't matter what anybody else has to say about it. So I see there's this need this week to really create some space to get clear on what it is you want. What do you want? What do you want? It's sort of like you need to place your order with the universe this week. It's like, imagine that the universe is like this great big diner, okay? And you can have whatever you want. They'll make whatever you want, but you need to be clear on what it is you want, all right? And also weigh up what is the difference between want and need, and where is the place where those two things actually diverge, where they diverge, where your wants actually fulfill your needs. And it's something where you feel like there is nothing lacking, the connection, the opportunity, the dream, the vision. It supports you and it gives, there's this beautiful reciprocal flow. So this is about really considering how you want to invest your energy moving forward. This is an important week for that. We do have on the 5th, Leo full moon coming in. So it's a big time to really consider where you want to like shine the spotlight on in your life. 11:11 on the clock when I said that, okay? Coming into total alignment. And let's just do the shuffling here. I'm curious to see where are we going to be at this week, all right? Just let us know how we're going to be kind of like viewing our lives, our general internal weather pattern this week, Spirit. Where's the collective going to be at this week? Where's the collective? All right. Woo! Oh, wow. Right out the gate, it gets juicy. All right. How are the finances going to be this week for the collective? What's going on with our bag this week? How will the finances be for the collective? All right. Okay, we've got some things to address there. What's going to be going on in communication for the collective this week? What's going to be going on in communication for the collective this week? What's going to be going on for communication for the collective this week? What's going to be going on? Ooh, oh. All right, so we got some stuff that needs to be looked at. That's kind of like, it's like you're trying to sweep it under the rug. You cannot sweep this shit under the rug. And there's also something going on that has something to do with finances, because this covering card here just came over and sort of cut into that financial house. So I take that as a sign something's going on there. Excuse me, needed some of my grapefruit water. All right, let's see here. What's going on the home front? Whoa, that came through just like a cutting energy. I think something's being cut off at the home. I don't know what that is, okay? Might be cutting out some bullshit at home because it cut in between the arcane bullshit deck and my tarot deck that's for the angels. So maybe you're getting some spiritual help cutting off some bullshit that's affecting your home life, collective, all right? This just coming in. What's coming up in romance, pleasure, the fun stuff in life this week? What's coming up? Okay. This comes up as a crossing influence. That's very interesting. We'll see what that's about. We got some kind of choice maybe to make in romance, some kind of choice to make in terms of how we can cut certain things off so we can make more room for the things we really want to do, the things we really do enjoy. How can we increase the pleasure quotient in our lives this week? That's what's coming in there so far. We'll see what it says when we dive into the read. What's coming up in the area of work routine for the collective this week? Whoop, something needs attention there too. Got quite a bit coming out here. Always the work to be done. All right. You got some shady shit you need to clear out of your space, collective. There's something here that needs some work, needs some work done. I'm taking it as almost like more like internal work done. It could be around a pattern of behavior. It could be around a certain behavior you're tolerating from another. It could be tolerating something that's really inequitable or is not fair. We'll look deeper into that, okay? I don't want to go down that rabbit hole right now. Let's get all these cards out on the board. All right, let's see what is coming up in the area of serious relationships, romantic unions, important unions, marriages, things of this nature, the 7th house. Okay, got one there. What's coming up in the area of sex, transformation, death, the big endings in life, the occult, Scorpio's house. That's Scorpio's South Node action. We're all still moving through until July comes around. So give us a view on this. What's coming up? Oops. Oh, okay. All right. Interesting stuff there. Okay. Let's see what's coming up in the area of travel, expansions, spirituality, the collective. What's coming up in the area? Ooh, okay, that's interesting. That came out in a very interesting way. Let's see here. Where can I put this? Let me put this right here. Gonna move some things around, man. All right, I'm running out of room. Okay, 9. All right. What's coming up in the area of career, brand, public image, 10th house? Okay. There. And what is coming up in the house of friends, community? Friends, community. Okay. Got some action going on there. Perhaps something you need to make a decisive decision about. You might need to cut something off in your friend group or cut off something that's going on that's affecting the community. This is going to require some decisiveness and to be made from a very logical place of what works best for everyone. I'm getting, okay? And what's coming up in that 12th house, the blind spot, the thing we can't see. What's coming up in the 12th house? The house of hidden enemies, the house of what needs to be transformed, the karma. What is the work there for the collective this week? Yeah, y'all don't want to look at that shit. Oh, you're like, we don't want to know about that. Okay, come on, cough it up, collective. Cough it up, man. We don't got all night. All right, there we go. Okay, let's dive into this and get this read in order, see what's going on here. It is 18:01 on the clock, starting this read. All right, so where are we going to be at? What's going to be going on with us? We got the 2 of Cups, okay, and the 2 of Swords. I mean, it doesn't get clearer than this. The collective is very much in a space of trying to make new choices when it comes to love, all right? Trying to figure out how they can either heal a connection or what it is they're wanting from love, from romance, or trying to make their mind up about the kind of relationship that they want to have. There's some major decision involving love, involving relationship, an important relationship. This is an important connection, okay? Some are trying to decide between one of 2 people. Some are trying to decide, should we come together or split apart? Some are trying to decide if they should continue to entertain somebody, continue to remain open to this. Maybe there's been a need with this 2 of Swords to kind of block this energy a bit. You might feel a little guarded about this energy coming forward. Some of you have been single for a very long time, and so it's hard to open up the heart after you really were hurt in your last connection to the possibility of somebody new coming in. I think there's some communication that needs to be had. Maybe it's difficult to speak the things that are on your heart. This is weighing heavily for some of you. I feel like you're like sorting through a lot of illusions. There's been a lot of illusions you've had, particularly in the area related to like your dream of like what love was supposed to be. Some of you are really doing a lot of excavation around this, like how did I get like sort of my expectations about love rooted in my consciousness? You're looking at the programming. You're starting to question it. You're starting to look at things in a new way. We know that you're transforming something here with the butterflies in the background and with the Two of Swords. You're definitely blocking off your space. There's also this mirror image behind her. And so this really gives me the feeling of also like deflecting energy. Like, no, I need to be in my own energy right now because my energy became too enmeshed with yours. So I need to sort out where I'm at and what I'm feeling. And I need to do that without distraction. There's this desire to not look outside oneself for the answers here, is turning within. And there is some kind of transformation happening here. But we do see that love is in the mainframe. There is somebody significant, somebody there's a real deep sense of affinity with. And we also have to bring in soulmate energy. Because when it comes to soulmates, soulmates play many different roles in our lives. And sometimes it's to learn a very a powerful lesson that allows us to shed illusions and come more into the truth of who we are and how we're really ready to connect with another. Okay. So sometimes they come into our lives as teachers, sometimes they come into our lives to help us heal something. Sometimes they are connecting points to a new passage in our life, an opening of a new doorway of opportunity to head in a direction we never even considered to head in before. Sometimes this is about, linking up with that one, the one that you are meant to come together with at this time and grow into love with, love and all things beautiful. Okay. But we see that there's a timeout being taken here and you're weighing some things up and you're doing it without distraction. You want to be in your own energy and make your choices from this place. Right. So when we're looking at the second house, which is all about finances, money, again, we got the Queen of Cups. Okay, so this is water sign collective, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. And we got the Chariot. All right, very strong Cancer energy here. Chariot is Cancer. And these energies are coming up in reverse. All right, so with Cancer, I'm automatically thinking of the archetype of the mother. And so I feel like some of you are feeling like you're financially strapped because maybe you're a single mom, and you have like a creative vision for how you want to move forward. You could really, make this thing take off if you just had the luxury of sort of being able to build this thing without having to be sort of tied to a job where your heart's not really in it. 23:33 on the clock when I said that. You might be starting to look into some options for how you can get your hands on some funds so you can sort of set yourself up to take this leap because you don't want to compromise your children in any way in this risk you're taking. You want to make sure that they're provided for. Up to this point, you've kind of felt stuck, sort of resigned a bit to your present position because you feel like you can't really go in the direction you want to go in, the direction that's really kind of like inspiring you, the direction that would feed your heart again, the work where your heart's really in it. Some of you might be like looking to get into some kind of healing field, some holistic health field, um, something along these lines. Some of you want to get into some line of work that involves travel, you know. Um, Maybe you feel chained in some way though, because of some kind of responsibility. You feel like you're not able to move forward in the direction that would really feed your heart in terms of your finances. Something's been held up. Something's been held up here. For some of you, this is money that's been held up because you're going through a divorce, and things have kind of been in this stuck place and hammering out agreements. And so you're waiting for this to free up and for you to be free of this so you can move forward cleanly, not feel like you're held back, and you can get out of a contract. I'm getting I feel like there's some peace about this, like you're getting out of some contract. This could also be a soul's contract too. This is sort of like an interesting piece coming in. You know, sometimes if you're not aligned with the right people, and this can be in any kind of a setting, it can be in business, it can also be in relationship, and it can still affect your finances because if you're in a connection that's not matched up for you, then automatically you're like out of resonance. And when you're out of resonance, you can't be in the flow of abundance because abundance requires that there's resonance. There's like a giving and receiving, like this reciprocal energy. So if you're dealing with any kind of like emotional blockage in your life because of people that you're kind of holding space for, that you're in relationship with, or that you're working with, you may be noticing that this sort of like blocks your finances. Some of you may be dealing with a partner who is always coming to you with some kind of financial crisis. Maybe their car just broke down. Now they want you to kind of foot the bill to fix it. This is becoming a real drain on the finances, you know. There's some piece of this coming in, but I feel like also what's sort of front and center is wanting the work to more match up with what would be emotionally fulfilling, and you're not feeling emotionally fulfilled in your present position. You're also not seeing the growth that you were hoping to see financially. A lot of things have become stressful because you're not having the finances flow in the way that you want them to. I think a lot of this does have to do, though, with needing to, you know, make a decision, needing to make a decision and to take some kind of action. Like what part of what's blocking things up is there's a little bit of too much like feeling it out, thinking it out, and not enough like doing, you know, with the chariot in reverse. I feel like this is the week to get really clear on what you want to do, how you want to move forward in terms of the way you make your money, and what needs to be hammered out, what agreements need to be made to move things forward. And then taking action on it, like not just sitting on it. You can't just sit here and stew about it. And you also can't feel sorry for yourself. Some of you applied for a job, you didn't get it, you know, and you're disappointed, or you didn't get that promotion that you were promised, or you were heading in a certain direction, it looked really good, and then something put the brakes on it, and you're realizing now you have to go back to the drawing board. I think it's really important at this time that you consider what has resonance and then iron out a practical plan. And especially if you're feeling stuck financially and things aren't moving forward and it's negatively impacting you, and you don't see any opportunity for growth where you're at, and you have an inspired idea, it's really time to put together a game plan of like how you're going to make that happen, what you're going to do, and what's necessary to move things forward. You know, this is a little bit of kind of like I'm feeling sort of like Saturn vibes with it. There's kind of like Saturn vibes with it. This need to really like stop feeling pulled in two directions. Notice how the horses are in two different directions, and this is reversed. Okay. So you got to make a choice. There's a lot about making a choice coming through this week. I feel it's very important. This is like, do I do the sensible thing, or do I, you know, do I follow my heart and where I'm really inspired to go, that thing that's like lighting me up? And some of you may need to go back to school to do this. You're wondering, how am I going to come up with money? There's all kinds of programs out there. There's all kinds of grants you can get. There's scholarships. There's things you can look into, okay, for getting the funding you need to move forward. But see, the only way that happens is if you actually like do what needs to be done to move forward. And some of you are needing to free yourselves from some kind of contract in order to be able to move forward in the way you want to. Now, in the area of communication, we have the Hanged Man in reverse coming in with the Temperance. It's all major arcanas. Communication is super important this week. To the world, to death. Okay? So this is coming out of a place of indecision. All right? You've weighed things up. You've been hanging out at the crossroads for a long time. You've been looking at a situation, trying to figure out, what do I need to do about this? How do I need to move forward? All right? Because this is major arcana themes, I'm going to go ahead and just bring in the signs associated with these because this is very important. So if you hear your sign mentioned, then this is something you really want to be live to this week, but it's for the collective as a whole, but particularly pay attention if your sign comes in. So we got Pisces energy right here. All right. So this is about coming out of a place of looking at something long enough, and now it's time to take some kind of action. And I feel like there's sort of like, I don't know why I'm getting this with the hands up like this. Normally I see this as like doing a little dance. That's not what I'm seeing here. I'm seeing this as two things actually. I just got yoga because it's very much reminding me of tree pose. So maybe yoga, yoga practice will kind of help you as you prepare for this important communication. Maybe there's something you're investigating doing in terms of communication that involves yoga. Maybe you're taking some kind of yoga course, yoga class, something like this. Maybe you're communicating with the directors of that program, or maybe you're communicating with different yoga schools or yoga alliance. I don't know why I got this, but yoga kind of comes in here. I also see this like sort of like I give up, like that's it. I'm letting this go. This has been too stressful, I feel, is another way that this is sort of coming through. Maybe in this letting go process, it would be helpful too to also do some yoga to just have that support. It's coming in really strong. And right after that, again, we have balance, temperance, okay? And this is about really getting to a place where you've refined the diamond enough. Now you're at this place where you have that clarity, you see your situation clearly. I do believe this has to do with a love relationship. This card represents Sagittarius collective, okay? So there's something that's coming into balance here. We notice that there are two cups have energy flowing between the two. So there's a reciprocal flow here. I believe this reciprocal flow is coming in though through finally understanding your value, your worth, standing on it, knowing what can't be compromised at the end of the day, and also wanting something very real and meaningful. And maybe you couldn't see things clearly in this situation before. You needed to get some space from it. You need to get sort of a breathing room from it so you could find that balance and understand, what needs to be communicated. But the communication that happens this week is really about bringing one cycle to an end. Okay, it's closing something with Scorpio here. We got the death card, all right, to the world, which represents all the fixed signs. Okay, so there's something that is really coming to a close here. There's something that's coming to completion. There's something that's being communicated about this. This brings success. I believe you're speaking from a place of wisdom that was hard earned in this situation. There's a lot of transformation. 33 on the clock. And I feel like there's a big healing on offer here. I see 3 of Cups in my mind's eye. So like there's a celebration that happens here in releasing this communication. Maybe you weren't ready to release this communication before. There is some kind of letting go involved in this communication too. There's some kind of release. 33:55 on the clock. It changes everything and it opens up a very important dialogue I'm getting. Okay, so I feel like this is just the beginning. This is going to be ongoing and it's going to continue to develop as we move through this remaining time we have with the Scorpio South Node until it moves back into Libra in July. All right. So something is being balanced out here and it's happening through communication. It's a long healing process coming to a place of completion and it opens up this week and there's success on the other side. But this is something that's really going to be developing over time. 37. It was 34, but I said 37. So it's interesting. 7, and 10. It's like this end of this one cycle begins a new cycle that brings certain gifts with it and like spirits all over this. It's a big spiritual growth that comes through this communication that's coming in this week. All right. And then on the home front, we have the Hermit in reverse. So this tells me you all are ready to kind of get out there. You're not going to be like sitting around, lounging around at home a whole lot this week. You're feeling like it's time to kind of like shake off the cobwebs, bring in some fresh energy, open up the windows, get the air circulating, get yourself out there and circulating. I think you've kind of like there's a lot of this energy that's coming forward where it's been enough time kind of in this place of sort of sequestered, weighing things out, thinking things out, feeling kind of more like wanting to isolate, maybe because you were processing something heavy, and just, not wanting to be bothered. There's certain things you needed to sort of settle in and figure out for yourself. But I feel like this energy is moving out of this sort of more kind of internalized energy to becoming more externalized. And you're ready to get out there. You're ready to really sort of like mingle a bit, get back into the flow of life and inject some new energy into your life. I'm really feeling. Some of you moved into a new place. You initially thought this place was going to be somewhere you'd really like to be for the long haul. You're not enjoying it. You're realizing it's really noisy at night and it's disturbing your sleep. You just can't. Maybe you're in a place too where you've kind of been forced into more like sort of I'm seeing like a real big like apartment complex where everybody's just kind of piled one on top of the other, and maybe you're not used to living like that, or maybe you recently moved to the city. You used to be in a more rural area. You're finding this like really unsettling. You're not wanting to stay here. You're kind of missing where you were before. Okay, so you might be reconsidering. Some of you might be, kind of like locked into a lease on that. And so you're sort of like trying to figure out how you can sort of creatively free yourself from that situation. I'm getting, but that part coming in too. All right. Maybe you're a hermit, by heart, that's kind of just who you are. I got 37, 33 on the clock. And so this feels very uncomfortable for you to be, around so many people, so much energy all the time. You might want to look more into kind of like grounding your energy out. You might want to do like some cleansing baths with 2 cups of sea salt or Epsom salt, 2 cups of baking soda, and just like 20 minutes soak. Just, don't underestimate the value of like just clearing your energy and smoke clearing the energy in your space, and also doing some grounding, just getting really rooted in your body. So you're not taking in so much of the externalized energy. You can be more kind of internally contained and getting coming into. That's very important. All right, so let's see what's coming up in romance and pleasure. Look at this. I'm telling you. Okay, so the full moon in Leo is going to be really significant because I see there's a big, important karmic cycle coming to a close with this full moon. With the Ten of Swords here, I see you willingly releasing this 38 on the clock. Okay, 11. You know this is about you coming into alignment, and we know this further with justice on the scene. Okay, Libra energy very strongly. All right, this is about karmic balance. All right, one cycle is done. It's time to accept this. It's time to release this. It's time to let this go. And you're going to find that in this letting go, that is what is the pleasure this week, because it's the thing that's going to let the light back into your life. Like, this is what brings the romance in. And it was 3911 when I said that. So big alignment energy coming in here. Okay. And there's support for this. There's support for this process. There's very much a feeling of being freed of the heaviness of an old cycle and moving into new opportunities, new possibilities, new connections, brand new everything. And I think that the collective is really going to be taking a lot of pleasure in that this week. That's going to feel really good. It's going to feel really good to just move on to new energy. In the area of work and routine, we have the Seven of Swords in reverse. All right. The Five of Pentacles and the Four of Swords. All right, this is one of these cases where this is a very, very specific story. It'll speak to different people on different levels. I just got to bring it in the way that it's coming through. You're going to find out that somebody has been ripping you off, or you're going to find out somebody you work with has been stealing from the company. Something's being exposed about theft. All right. This also I'm getting can be like theft of time. Maybe you're not managing your time wisely. And because of this, you're robbing yourself of opportunities to really see growth and expansion in your finances. You're not getting new clients because you're sabotaging yourself. Okay. You're doing too much, lazing around with the Four of Swords, and there's a need to, get hustling if you want to make some money with some Five of Pentacles there. But I also feel like some of you are going to find out that somebody on the job has been stealing. And if any of you have been, stealing on the job, it's going to get exposed and you could lose your job. You may be laid off. You may be hearing of somebody being laid off. This is possible in a work capacity. You may have hired somebody, an accountant, somebody to do something in relation to your books. They've been skimming a bit off the top. You realize this, you have to let somebody go. You got to let them go. Somewhere in here, we have some kind of sabotage that is affecting the finances in a negative way. And there's a need to take a closer look at this and to develop more prudent practices. I'm really getting this. And some of you need to start to develop a stronger work ethic. I mean, that's really what's coming through. It's like there's a need to let go of the habits that are sabotaging your success, get your schedule organized, get things on point, and start doing the work so you can see growth in your finances. Only then will you turn things around. I also think that if you have recently been laid off or you're out of work, maybe you've gotten a little too reliant on, just, the unemployment coming in or whatever. It might be time to like really start considering what you need to do to create a more stable future for yourself, because you don't want to always be relying that unemployment is going to be there. That's what I'm getting is coming in. Okay. All right, and so now we are going to look at love relationships, marriages, committed relationships. Look at this brand new cycle, okay? So you all are starting a brand new cycle in love. Some of you have left significant relationships. You're heading out on your own for the first time. It all feels brand new. I've been having this like eat, pray, love vibes coming in. Some of you are wanting to get out there and travel and explore, you're ready for this, you're ready for love. You're ready to open up into it again. You've processed the pain you've been through, and now you're hoping to go out there and like find somebody who is your match, that person who's meant for you. I think a lot of you feel that you're sort of on a bit of a little like treasure hunt with this. Like there might be sort of some interesting things starting to develop. Like you feel almost like you're getting left little clues about where, where your true love may be. There is this kind of like enthusiastic sort of wonder, open expansion kind of vibe coming in. I also feel like for those of you who have been going through challenging times in your love relationships, you're completing an old cycle, and you're starting brand new with each other. I think you're going to have a clear out. I feel like communication is really front and center this week, but then I feel like you're just like sweeping the way clean, and you're starting with a totally fresh slate with each other. And you're willing to look at things in a new way and explore, and hey, okay, let's both be beginners here. Let's figure it out. But I do see there's some new cycles starting in the area of relationship, union this week, and it gives a feeling of optimism. There's some kind of optimism that comes through, and it's 44 on the clock when I said that. Okay, so I do feel like there's help on hand, and I do feel like there is sort of this divine play going on in matters of the heart. So maybe in connections where you thought, oh, there's no way this could ever heal, you get to the other side of it. You find a way forward that's unlike any you've tried before. You know, there's some newness coming into relationship and an opportunity to learn and discover with each other. So this is a really cool energy coming in, I think. You know, it's like pressing the reset button, and something really positive comes forward in this that makes makes fresh life come into the love department again. That's what I'm really getting. Okay. And then in the area of the eighth house, which has everything to do with that scorpionic energy. So we're looking at sex, we're looking at death, we're looking at transformation. We're getting some kind of news in relation to the finances or the family, something that is coming forward here. With this being the house associated with death and with the Ten of Pentacles, which very much can be legacy energy, this might have something to do with news about an inheritance, news about money received from an inheritance, or some that is coming your way. This could have something to do with water sign collective, okay, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. There also may be some kind of transformation happening within the family unit. There's something happening with the home. I think this is positive. This is welcomed. Some of you are going to be moving in with your lover, and this is really a whole brand new beginning for you. It's very different. You've sort of been used to just having this, you know, this lover and this sort of openness in your connection, but things are leveling up. This person is really making a commitment to you this week. I think that there is also something coming forward here that brings a lot of happiness. It feels like it's some kind of invitation to me, and it's an invitation that has something to do with a home, moving into a home. Um, Maybe you hear that you got the home. Maybe you put in a bid on a home. You find out that you got it, and you're excited about this. There's something to celebrate there. There's some big transformation happening on the home front, though. For some of you, it has to do with money. It has money coming into the home, and it's related to an inheritance. That's what I get. It's like legacy energy, all right? Or some kind of dividends coming in. This somehow transforms the home front. Money coming in transforms the home. Um, and, and this could be, you know, you finally have the opportunity to move, to go where you want to go. Maybe this involves actually moving from one location to another. Like maybe this is a really big change. Maybe you're moving near a body of water, or maybe you're going to go out and travel to find where you want to move to. But there's some kind of moving forward here. And I believe it has something to do with the lover, you know, this coming forward very strongly. There's this love piece connected with this. So look for that to come in. Very interesting. I'm curious about this travel spirituality house. Look, soulmate energy, Six of Cups. This is also nostalgia. I'm getting nostalgia big time coming in with this, like traveling back in the mind, thinking back on maybe an old love, thinking back also onto childhood, maybe thinking back about your mother. Maybe some of you had a mother pass over the past year, so you're really thinking about your mom a lot, holding space for your mom. I think for those of you who lost your mother, and I'm so sorry about that, I think that you still really feel, you know, your mother's presence. You're still able to connect with your mother. Maybe this has made you very aware that you actually have some psychic abilities that you weren't aware that you had. Maybe your mother is even kind of acting as somewhat of a guide to help you open up to this gift. You may have even received this gift from your mother. I got like high pitch in my ear right now. So I know this is coming up for somebody. Somebody is discovering that they have mediumship abilities, and this is about opening up to this gift. Okay. I also feel like you may travel to connect with a soulmate, or you have a soulmate at a distance that's coming in, or you're traveling and you meet somebody and you feel like you've known this person before. There's an instant soul recognition. So there's this piece coming in the ninth house zone this week, which is very interesting. There's a lot of kismet energy coming in, I'm picking up very strongly. And then in the area of the 10th house, okay, we have a court card came out. All right. So this is Queen of Swords. All right. Big Libra energy. This is also all air sign collective, Gemini, Aquarius. Okay. This could be very significant Aquarius season. So this has to do with PR. This has to do with your career. This has to do with your public reputation, your brand. I feel like some of you are really rethinking your brand. Those of you who are entrepreneurs, you're moving forward in a brand new way. You've cut off something that you were putting a lot of energy into, and you are putting energy in a new direction. Some of you are completely reinventing yourself right now, and you're waiting to see how things turn out, but you're really going more in alignment with what's true for you. You know, you're breaking away from the crowd and what everybody else is doing, and you're doing things in your own unique way. I also think you're looking at things that you need to cut off because they're not supporting you in the direction you want to go. And these can be people, places, things, habits, patterns of behavior. But I feel like you're really streamlining things this week, and you're making some very firm decisions. You might even be making like some official statements, and some of you will be really considering contract offers. There's some kind of offer that's going to come through 52 on the clock. It feels like, you know, a big level up, a big bless up opportunity. But you're really considering like, is this the right choice for me? Do I really want to do this? So be on the lookout for that. All right. It's got to be in alignment with your truth and who you are, or it's not going to work, you know. But I feel like a lot of you are cutting off. You're cutting off the work you used to do, or you're cutting off an old way of presenting yourself, something along these lines. You're doing things in a new way, and you're looking at what has kind of gotten in the way in the past, and you're cutting it off so you can start forward, clean slate, brand new direction in alignment with your truth. Okay, very powerful position. And then in the friend group, all right, we have some kind of healing happening. And again, it's air sign collective. Interesting that the Queen of Swords and King of Swords show up right next to each other, okay, in the read. So again, Libra, Gemini, Aquarius. Also, I see this is Aquarius season, which we're in. Something that was cut off brings a feeling of celebration. Now, some of you cut off a certain social circle. Maybe these people party too much, you know? You started realizing that this was getting in the way of you moving forward in an empowering way in your life. And you're different now. Maybe you're in recovery. Maybe you stopped drinking. Maybe you don't want to be around that scene anymore. Some of you may feel like you're kind of a little bit more isolated if this is the choice that you've made for yourself. But I see you're in a period of healing. And this is what's coming in for a lot of people. You're weighing up what you need to release from your social circle, from, what you need to release in terms of how you're connecting with other people, what kind of community you're building, anything that's holding you back in a place that's keeping you from healing, from keeping you from being in that place of like your best self, you know, your best self. You're releasing this, and this is bringing a lot of healing to you. And some of you are actually healing a connection where there's been a falling out with a friend or a loved one, someone you haven't heard from in a long time. There's some kind of communication that comes in this week. It opens up communication, opportunity for healing. I feel like it's very heart-centered, and it's a beautiful thing. Maybe there was disruption in this friendship because of a third-party interference. That could have been related to somebody had an alcohol problem or some other kind of issue that was standing in the way, but they cut it off. This transforms things. Or it could have been a meddling friend, you know, a third party element, but something gets resolved here. Okay. And then in the blind spot, the karma, we have And Ace of Pentacles, this is associated with spring season. So what happens this week is really going to see fruition in the spring. This is a brand new start. This is financial growth. This is also the beginning of something. This is starting out as a beginner, as a learner, okay? This is a balancing of karma and willingness to be the student and starting a brand new cycle to grow a brand new dream that really launches in the spring. I see this happening a lot in the area of finances. I see this also about knowing your worth and stepping into that North Node energy of Taurus that's in play right now. And the Page of Pentacles does represent Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Okay. So any strong placement in the chart. I feel like there's some kind of news that comes in. There's some kind of news that comes in that brings growth in a financial direction, a new way to invest your energy. And it requires you to maybe, leave behind an old cycle. The closing of a karmic cycle, it brings balance. You invest in a new direction. News comes in. It's an opportunity to grow financially. It could be a business opportunity. It could be an educational opportunity. I think you should definitely go for it. It's going to lead to a lot of growth, but it has everything to do with kind of facing some of your blind spots. I think because you're used to kind of being the expert, you're on your ish normally, but this is about you heading off in a new direction and doing things in a bold, brand new way. Okay. There's some new beginning here. It's tangible. It comes in through news. And it might be an old connection, might come through somebody you knew before, right? Get things moving forward in a practical way, in a quick way, okay? See where there's been a holdup, there's growth, there's something that's being offered here. Could be coming in from an earth sign, or you could be an earth sign receiving this offer. But I think you're going to go for it. It leads to growth and something to really celebrate in the spring, okay? And now we are going to look at the overarching theme for the week. For that 13th house, we're letting Theakis hold and preside over. Okay. What is the overarching theme for the collective this week? Overarching theme for the collective this week. Woo! All right. The dogs. Okay. This is all about loyalty. And I want you to really hold this in your consciousness, at the forefront of your consciousness as you move through this week. Loyalty, 57:57 on the clock. What does the word loyalty mean to you? And then look at your life, the way that you're living it, the things you're investing in, how you're using your energy, how you're spending your time, the people around you, and consider the word loyalty in relation to that. And from that place, make your choices this week. You won't go astray. So do look for people to come forward and prove their loyalty this week as well. If you've been wondering who you can trust and who you can count on, you have some people who really have your back that are going to show up for you this week. Do be able to unguard the heart and be open enough to let them in and to know who really has stood the test of time, even if you went through challenges with each other, okay? Just be open. And I will have a healing session coming in, a blessing way session coming in. I think that I'm going to sit with this. I really want to consider what that session is going to look like, that it will involve some kind of candle burning. It will involve Reiki, maybe some kind of meditation, whatever calls for the collective, okay? But do be on the lookout for that tomorrow. I will be releasing that for all of you to support you in moving forward into this energy this week as we discover where our loyalties lie and let that form the basis of our choices.